Infertile CEO learns that his doctor mistakenly injected his sperm sample into a girl. When he sees the face of the impregnated girl on the monitor, he's over the moon. Holy cow! An employee of his company is carrying his baby. Gabriel rushes back to the office, only to learn that Juana is trying to quit. He carefully escorts Juana to a seat and asks her why. Juana confesses that rumors of their affair have been spreading among her co-workers. She has to admit that she has feelings for Gabriel. But it breaks her heart. Because she knows that Gabriel is married to another woman. Gabriel is surprised. The woman who accidentally conceived his child is really in love with him, but Juana had made it clear that she didn't want to find the father of her child, and wanted to raise it alone. He's afraid she'll reject him if he tells her the truth. He can't and doesn't dare to respond to her love. All he can say is that all her mixed emotions are due to her pregnancy. Juana thinks Gabriel is rejecting her. Embarrassed, she quickly storms out of the office. All these unexpected events have completely fried Gabriel's brain. He goes to his uncle to counsel him. Gabriel says that whenever he's with Juana, he feels peaceful and that he doesn't have to try to be strong. His uncle reminds him that this feeling goes beyond friendship. Gabriel wants to deny it. Suddenly, the HR informs him that Juana has resigned and left. Gabriel panics and drives to Juana's address immediately. But his wife Paula beat him to it. She finds Juana's house through a private detective. Paula despises the shabby state of Juana's neighborhood. She comes over to Juana's house in a condescending manner. Grandma thinks she's one of Juana's co-workers and invites her in. Juana walks in front of Paula with a lot of trepidation. Paula accuses her of being a gold digger who wants to steal her husband. She warns Juana to get out of Gabriel's life or else she'll show no mercy. Having no confidence to refute, she says that she has no intention of being a homewrecker. As Paula leaves Juana's house in high spirits, Gabriel shows up. Gabriel asks her what she's doing here. Paula rolls her eyes in anger. She says if she doesn't step in, who knows how long he'll keep making a cuckold of her. Gabriel laughs at her ridiculous conclusion. With nothing between him and Juana now, Paula's already crazy and hysterical. If she knows Juana's carrying his child, who knows what scarier things she'll do, so he hides from her that he's the father of Juana's child. He says he's here as a boss because he doesn't want to lose a good employee. After driving Paula away, Gabriel goes to Juana's house and apologizes. Juana doesn't want her family to know about her entanglement with Gabriel, so she takes him up to the rooftop. He knows he shouldn't be near her, but when he thinks of all the risks she's about to go through to give birth and raise her child, how can he be heartless? He expresses that she holds a special place in his heart and that he doesn't want to lose her. But that only makes it more awkward for Juana. After all, he's a married man and she's a pregnant woman. Gabriel, however, implicitly says that it is the child that connects them. He loves the baby and asks her to let him care for her as a friend. Juana is touched by his sincerity, allowing Gabriel to come closer. She puts his hand on her belly and lets him feel the movement of the baby. Gabriel's heart melts as he longs to be a father. He asks Juana to come back to work and not to give up on her dreams. He promises to keep his distance from her to avoid gossip. Torn between the two, Juana agrees. Gabriel goes home and formally asks Paula for a divorce. He admits that he knows she doesn't want to be a mother. In fact, he's always been aware that Paula was faking trying to get pregnant with him, because she always took birth control pills afterwards. Since they are not pursuing the same goals in their marriage, they should just let go and find their own happiness. When he says that, Paula feels guilty. During Gabriel's separation from her, she found her ex-boyfriend and tried to vent her desires and resentment by playing with him. But Paula can't bear to lose the money and fame that Gabriel has brought her. So she refuses to divorce him. To add insult to injury, when Paula comes downstairs, she sees her father cheating with her best friend. Paula is furious and kicks Camila out of her house. However, Camila's greed was also her own undoing. Since her wealthy husband disappeared, Camila, born into poverty, is on the verge of falling out of high society. When Paula's father offers her a tempting olive branch, Camila is disgusted, but in her vanity, she half-heartedly accepts the dirty deal. However, greedy Camila is actually helpless. Since her husband has gone missing, Camila, born into a poor family, can slip out of the upper class at any moment. When Paula's father throws tempting offers at her, Camila feels disgusted too. But driven by vanity, she has to reluctantly submit to this sleazy deal. The next day, Camila stumbles upon a magazine with Juana the Virgin on the cover. Turns out when Juana was telling her friend Daniela about her pregnancy, Daniela's mom overheard. A virgin gets pregnant. Daniela's mom can't believe her ears. Her gossipy side kicks in right away. She shares the news with the neighbors. In the blink of an eye, the whole town knows. Convinced that Juana can work miracles, they jam her doorstep to ask her for a blessing. Reporters are intrigued and can't wait to report the miracle in the papers. But Camila doesn't believe in miracles. Recalling Gabriel's recent attentions to Juana, she deduces the truth. The woman who was inseminated from Gabriel's sample is Juana. Gabriel pleads with her to keep it a secret because he's worried that Juana will run away from him if she learns the truth. The vain Camila tries to take advantage of this and capture the rich Gabriel. Gabriel pushes her away and warns her not to do it. As she is his friend's wife, he forgives her once. Angry, Camila deliberately puts the magazine in the company's coffee room. Soon all the colleagues read it. Juana's unreliable mom accidentally tells her that Juana likes Gabriel. But Gabriel is already married. Grandma flares up like a volcanote. She would never allow Juana to tread the path of being abandoned by a man like she did. So she immediately goes to Gabriel's office and talks to him. She forces him to stay away from Juana and not play with her feelings. It's Juana's fault that she's in love with him. She'll teach Juana a good lesson. But Gabriel already has a wife, so he shouldn't ruin another girl's life. Gabriel fears to say that Juana is pregnant with his child. He can only say that Juana is the most important person in his life, and that he won't leave her no matter what. He asks her grandma to rest assured he only thinks of her as a friend and would never hurt her. And that he had officially asked his wife for a divorce. Grandma has always scoffed at men's promises. Juana's mother was deceived by a married man. She believed his lie that he would divorce his wife to be with her. As a result, she was not only cursed out like crazy but also lost everything. Grandmother asks him, "Will you marry Juana after you get divorced?" Gabriel is dumbfounded right away. He hasn't considered it. Seeing this, Grandma doesn't want to waste more words. She warns him to leave Juana. Then she finds Juana and tries to persuade her to come home. Juana explains that she and Gabriel are just friends. The only thing she cares about here is her work. Grandma says she just asked Gabriel if he'd marry Juana after the divorce. Juana is almost driven crazy. Isn't it forcing her into the embarrassing situation of being a homewrecker? The sound of the two arguing draws Gabriel in. He begs them to come with him to a quiet place to talk it over. But Grandma insists on taking Juana away. Juana resists, seeing Grandma's questioning as a sign of shame and mistrust of her. Seeing that Juana is taking Gabriel's side while talking, Grandma gets so angry that she walks away. Juana is so emotional that she can't catch her breath and rushes out of the company. Gabriel forcefully holds her hand and says he can't watch her risk her life. He has to take care of her, he can't stay away from her. To calm her down, Gabriel takes her to his favorite place in the car. The two of them go to the top of the hill to breathe in the fresh air. Shortly after, torrential rain suddenly pours down from the sky. Gabriel quickly brings her to his farm to shelter from the storm. The two old housekeepers give them a warm welcome. Gabriel lights the fireplace and tells Juana all about his family's happy days when his parents were alive. It warms Juana's heart, who has never known a father's love growing up in a single-parent home. She finally understands why he's so obsessed with having a child and starting a family. She curiously asks for more stories about his family. Gabriel is deeply touched. Beside the fire, Two people who are desperate for love and care almost lose control. Thanks to the housekeepers, they don't make a mistake. Juana had intended to leave, but it is raining so hard that the roads are closed and there is no communication. Juana has to stay here for the night. The housekeeper brings Juana into the bedroom to change into dry clothes. These were for Paula, but she never wore them. As the privileged Paula dislikes the countryside, she hardly ever comes here. The bad weather has caused a power outage on the farm. Juana, soaked to the bone, changes into a sexy red dress. Gabriel is completely captivated, his eyes glued to her, unable to look away for even a second. Gabriel compliments her on her beauty, which makes Juana's heart flutter. In the cozy vibe, Juana reveals the secret that she was wrongly injected with sperm by the doctor and has never been in love. The unexpected answer stuns Gabriel, his eyes widen, darting about as his heart pounds. He has never thought that Juana is a virgin. The heartache he feels for her is like the incessant rain as he deeply senses how hard her life has been. Juana says he came into her life at the same time as the baby in her womb. She's grateful to him. Since learning of his love for children and family, Juana is no longer afraid and full of hope to accept this unexpected child. Gabriel asks her if she wants to find the father of her child. Juana firmly rejects it. She is haunted by her father's and grandfather's abandonment and does not want another man involved in her and her child's life. Gabriel feels guilty and is even more afraid to say that he's the father. He can only restrain his complicated feelings for her. To avoid crossing the line, he and she go back to their separate rooms. However, love will rob you of your sleep. With a heart full of budding love, Juana is unable to fall asleep and takes a candle and goes out of her room. Unexpectedly, Gabriel can't sleep either. Such a pure flower waiting to be picked by a hardworking bee. Juana can't hold back any longer and gently kisses Juana's red lips. But after a moment of losing himself, Gabriel pulls away from her. He sincerely apologizes to Juana, saying that he will first sort out his divorce matters and then start their relationship unencumbered. Juana's restless heart finally calms down with his repeated soothing words. The next morning, Gabriel drives Juana to the gynecology department and finds his friend, asking her to give her a checkup. He stands by Juana's side, staring at the tiny baby leaping from the ultrasound. In an instant, tears of joy blur his vision. For Gabriel, the greatest happiness isn't wealth or power. It's a soulmate wife and lovely kids that he'd give anything for. However, when he shows more concern for her baby than the pregnant woman herself does, Juana is quite puzzled. This is Infidelity Stories Retold. If there's a story you'd like to share, feel free to leave a comment and let me know. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.